On World News Tonight this Monday, the Iraqis fire at U.S. warplanes today. Conflicting reports about exactly what happened. A national weather nightmare. Thousands stranded by mudslides in the Northwest. In the South, thousands without power. A giant Christmas for internet shopping. We'll take a closer look at the risks and the ripoffs. And too many pigs, not enough customers. U.S. hog farmers hit hard by the world financial crisis.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Sitting in tonight, Connie Chung.
Good evening. In northern Iraq today, for the first time in the latest U.S. confrontation with Iraq, the Iraqis fired missiles at U.S. warplanes. In response, U.S. planes fired on an Iraqi air defense installation. That much is agreed upon. The Iraqis said 4 of their soldiers were killed in what they call the criminal attack. And late today, the Iraqi news agency reported at least one, quote, enemy plane was probably shot down. The U.S. says that never happened. ABC's Sam Donaldson has details from the White House. Sam?
Connie, Pentagon officials categorically deny the Iraqi claim that a U.S. warplane was shot down, insisting that all return safely to base. But the incident is worrisome for what it may mean for the future of patrolling the 2 no-fly zones that the U.S. and Britain have enforced for years over Iraq. U.S. F-15 and F-16 warplanes operating from their base at Incirlik, Turkey, were patrolling the skies over Iraq near the city of Mosul in the northern no-fly zone, when, according to Pentagon officials, they were fired on by at least 3 Iraqi surface-to-air missiles, which all missed. U.S. aircraft fired back, using HARM anti-radar missiles and laser-guided bombs, apparently destroying the Iraqi missile site. U.S. pilots have long had authority to take defensive action when fired on. President Clinton said today they will continue to do so.
The no-fly zones have been and will remain an important part of our containment policy. Because we effectively control the skies over much of Iraq, Saddam has been unable to use air power to repress his own people or to lash out again at his neighbors. Our pilots have the authority to protect themselves if they're threatened or attacked.
But protecting themselves may be more difficult for U.S. pilots just now. ABC News has learned that U.S. military forces have lost track of some 20 Iraqi surface-to-air missile batteries, which Saddam dispersed just before the recent heavy bombing of Iraq. Furthermore, the Iraqis have perfected a technique of quickly flicking their radar on and off to fire their missiles, making it more difficult for U.S. pilots to lock onto their missile batteries. Military officials believe they can handle all of this, but they're bracing for more such shooting incidents in the days ahead, Connie.
Thank you, Sam. From coast to coast today, the weather is making people miserable. In the Pacific Northwest, thousands of people are stuck with no place to go. A disastrous combination of rain, snow, floods, and mudslides is making for one of the worst holiday travel seasons in years. ABC's Brian Rooney reports from Seattle.
As snow piled up in the mountain passes, so did the cars and trucks. Thousands of drivers spent the weekend waiting on both sides of blocked mountain passes.
Lots of reading material and you know, a thermos full of coffee.
Last year was easy. This year it's been worse.
This was the 5th winter storm to hit the Northwest so far this season, which to date has been twice as wet as the normal winter. The reason? Blame it on La Nina, the weather phenomenon which is the flip side of last year's El Nino. The ocean cools down, and the jet stream moves right over the Northwest, dumping rain and snow.
Historically, that has created wetter than normal winters in western Washington, and this one appears to be following that same pattern.
The snow was followed almost immediately by a warmer front that brought rain, slush, and rising rivers. The gates of some flood control dams have been opened wide, allowing water to cascade downstream.
We could see some major flooding in western Washington in the next couple of days.
Near Tacoma, Washington, a mudslide pushed a home off its foundation almost into Puget Sound. Highway 30 outside of Portland, Oregon was cut by rushing water. Sandbagging could be a common sight in the Northwest this winter. A new storm will roll in as soon as tomorrow, and the National Weather Service says this is the way it is likely to be in the Northwest right through the month of April. Brian Rooney, ABC News, Seattle.
The bad weather on the West Coast is also causing massive crop damage. Last week, a deep freeze hit California's prime citrus growing areas. Today, Tulare County declared a state of emergency. At least 75% of that county's $500 million orange crop was destroyed. Supermarket prices could triple within weeks. Across the southeast tonight, heat and power are still out in many places after an ice storm that hit on Christmas Eve. As ABC's Barry Serafin reports, for thousands of people across the region, the bad weather has created a very unpleasant holiday season.
5 days after the ice storm knocked out power across the South, thousands of people from Tennessee to Alabama are still without electricity. Virginia was hit the hardest. Officials today reported that 3 elderly people without electricity had died of hypothermia. 70,000 people in the southeast part of the state are still waiting for the heat and lights to come back on. At one point, 360,000 people here were without power. 2,000 utility workers are putting in 16-hour shifts every day, but in many places, trees, power lines, and even power poles have been snapped by the ice, leaving snarled wires and limbs.
The weight of the ice and all has really done you in down here. I've never seen anything like it.
Billy and Tammy Griggs of Prince George, Virginia, had to leave their home when a tree fell on it.
And all of a sudden you hear a crumble and a bunch and it sounds like shotguns going off.
Look at it. I mean, look at the door.
Since their frightening experience on Christmas Eve, the Griggs have been living out of bags and boxes in a motel with their little dog, Cody.
It has been a living nightmare. It's one Christmas I'll never forget.
Many others have also spent their holiday in motels and shelters, but progress is being made. Utilities say power could be fully restored by the end of the day Wednesday. But the cleanup and repairs will take longer after Virginia's worst ice storm in 5 years. Barry Serafin, ABC News, Washington.
Off the coast of Australia today, a yacht race known as Hell on High Water turned into disaster at sea when a major storm struck. 3 sailors were killed when their boats capsized or sank, and 60 others were plucked from raging seas by helicopters and pulled to safety. 90-mile-an-hour winds and 35-foot waves snapped masts and battered dozens of boats participating in the annual race from Sydney to Hobart. 4 sailors are still missing, but the surviving boats continue the race. And late today, a boat skippered by American computer executive Larry Ellison came in first. Just ahead, the search for 6 escaped inmates in Tennessee is over.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by Tums.
Man, that chili was hot.
You got heartburn too?
Yeah.
Want to try these new Pepcid AC chewables?
It says you gotta take it with water. What's the water for? Oh, Tums, you don't need water.
Just because new Pepcid is chewable doesn't mean it works like Tums. Tums calcium knocks out heartburn fast. Pepcid Chewables famotidine has to go through your bloodstream, so it takes 40 minutes just to start controlling acid.
You want to go back for water?
Forget the water, pass the Tums. This Super Bowl Sunday, the Prize Patrol could surprise you with $31 million.
Got the roses.
The one and only Publishers Clearinghouse Sweepstakes. Now, bigger than ever.
Gesundheit.
There's a new force you can use to help your small business. Introducing Sprint Business Flex, a new communications plan you can adapt to help your business grow. Add toll-free, long distance, global service, and more. Business Flex adapts along with you. You're in control, so charge ahead and feel free to make the right moves. Plus, with Business Flex, you get a monthly bonus that can grow as you grow, so your success can really pay off. Call 1-888-SPRINT-BIZ. We help your business do more business.
In Tennessee tonight, a manhunt for 6 inmates has ended. The men who escaped from a maximum security prison over the weekend have been captured. ABC's Aaron Hayes reports from Nashville.
This afternoon, 2 more of the inmates were found. None of those caught had made it more than a couple of miles from the prison. Found wet and cold and clearly spent, they gave up pretty easily. The last inmate to be taken, Aaron Tyrone James, in prison for kidnapping and brutally killing a 65-year-old woman. Prison officials say the 6 overpowered guards with a homemade knife locked them up and ran for the fence.
We assumed that they grabbed a mattress from the bed and they put it over the razor wire.
But guards on the outside didn't immediately realize there'd been an escape, despite the fact that fence alarms rang out. Investigators are now trying to figure out why. Prison officials are thankful tonight they had 2 things on their side in the search: Tennessee's wintry weather and the fact that the inmates escaped wearing only light clothes. In the end, the weather proved to be a bit too much for them. Erin Hayes, ABC News, Nashville.
A new report from the Justice Department finds that the nation's violent crime rate is now the lowest it's been in nearly 25 years. The decline is attributed to the decrease in the amount of crack cocaine being sold and successful efforts to seize handguns from criminals and young people. However, rapes and sexual assaults have not declined. The day after the regular season ended for most professional football teams, 5 NFL head coaches have lost their jobs. Don Capers of Carolina, Dave Wannstedt of Chicago, Ted Marchibroda of Baltimore, Ray Rhodes of Philadelphia, and Dennis Erickson of Seattle were all fired today. They represent about 17% of the head coaches in the NFL. In just a moment, a closer look at the pitfalls of shopping online.
If you have arthritis pain that lasts all day, presenting Tylenol Arthritis Extended Relief. It lasts up to twice as long as regular aspirin without irritating your stomach.
This Super Bowl Sunday, the Prize Patrol could surprise you with $31 million.
Hey, Todd, can you give me a hand?
The one and only Publishers Clearinghouse Sweepstakes. Now,
the self-service for the birds.
Bigger than ever.
You're so lucky. Not one gray hair.
When a woman can run her fingers through your hair and can't tell you blend away your gray, that's a natural-looking result. And that's just what you get with a hair color called Just for Men. Simply shampoo in, then rinse. In only 5 minutes, this unique formula blends away gray, actually matches your gray to your real color. So nobody knows, even close up.
I just love your hair.
Just for Men. It looks so natural, even she can't tell.
Start something special.
In a car commercial, you expect to see some fine print. Well, here's some of the finest darn print you'll ever see. For a short time, get 0.99 financing on all 99 Oldsmobiles. That means finance savings of up to $3,700 at the Start Something special event at your Oldsmobile dealer now.
Oh, this head cold. I'm so clogged up, I just can't focus.
You okay?
Oh, if this meeting doesn't go well, it's all that work wasted.
You gotta stay focused.
I'll find a way.
Clear the congestion with Tavus D, prescription strength. Just one gives you 12 hours of uninterrupted relief. To get that, you need 4 Tylenol cold pills. Tavus D clears your congestion, so you're clear-headed again. Why be congested? Be clear-headed, clear through your day with Tavus D.
Take a closer look at the shopping revolution. It was a huge Christmas for the internet, with millions of Americans moving from retailing to e-tailing, as the insiders now call it. Online sales more than tripled from last year to about $13 billion. But there were plenty of problems. BarnesandNoble.com and the auction site eBay ground to a near halt or collapsed because of heavy traffic. Amazon.com was overwhelmed by orders and couldn't deliver some books in time for the holidays. ABC's Gina Smith reports, in the e-tailing revolution, there are more than a few risks and ripoffs.
Larry Moore spotted a computer on the internet. He paid $1,400. He thought it was a steal. And, in a way, he was right.
So I sent the money and nothing happened, and nothing happened, and nothing happened. And pretty soon I got panicky and tried to contact him, but by then he was gone.
Christina Plaffey paid more than $1,000 for the wingless quacker, an extremely rare Beanie Baby.
It was a fake Beanie Baby, current quackers, with half of its wings chopped off.
Now that internet shopping has grown to be a billion-dollar business, it's attracting its share of hustlers, ready to take your money and run.
When people come to a new marketplace, the scam artists follow, unfortunately.
Rip-offs aren't the only problem. Bad service, faulty billing, and web stores that can't keep up with consumer demand are giving the industry a black eye. Bob Fraser helps companies set up their online shops.
Unfortunately, you know, there's the gold rush to capture this market is causing people to go online early and to not do all the things that are necessary to ensure a good experience.
That means making products easy to find, delivering them on time and in good shape, and not forcing customers to wade through endless screens. Many sites do seem slow or missing altogether. Toys R Us recently had to close its site for hours after its computers crumbled under a consumer crush.
Now there's a smarter way to do holiday shopping.
As the commercials keep pointing out, internet shopping can be pretty convenient, but only if you buy from a reputable firm and you use a credit card so you can cancel any inaccurate charges later. Gina Smith, ABC News, New York.
People aren't just shopping for books and toys on the internet. The number of people investing online has nearly doubled in just 1 year. ABC's Betsy Stark reports while the number of online investors has gone up, so is the number of online scams.
One day, while California lawyer Zane Smith was surfing the internet for investment ideas,
one of these advertising banners had a little thing that said, "The next Microsoft."
Smith clicked on the ad, which took him to the website of a new company called Interactive Products and Services. It described plans to make a wireless mouse and keyboard in one. Smith emailed for the prospectus, which impressed him.
Oh, I invested $1,500. That was supposedly for 300 shares of stock.
Retired engineer Tobias Anthony invested $5,000. Unfortunately for both men, Interactive Products and Services was a sham.
There was nothing valid about it at all, none of the claims.
Ta-da! It's that easy to lose your money.
Stock regulators say the case is a good example of just how easy it is to deceive investors on the internet. While the scams themselves are as old as the stock market, the internet has provided an effective new medium for perpetrating them.
Everything that comes across the internet looks very professional and very authoritative, and there's no sort button that you can push so that the bad information goes to one side and the good information goes to another side.
What's more, in the time it takes a telemarketer to dial one phone number, an internet stock promoter can reach millions of people all over the world.
This is a problem that we believe is prevalent and persistent, and it's a problem that we're going to continue to go after.
Regulators are now cracking down. This fall, in its first ever internet sweep, the SEC charged 44 stock promoters with using the web to defraud investors. But the work is far from over. Online investors send the agency hundreds of new leads every day. Betsy Stark, ABC News, New York.
Investors certainly took notice today of the big season for internet sales. Stock for internet bookseller Amazon.com was up 8%. America Online was up 15%, and SkyMall, a company that caters to airline passengers, reported a big jump in internet sales. Its stocks were up 184%. When we come back, trouble on the farm, a devastating year for hog farmers.
You're short of breath. There's pain in your chest. You may be having a heart attack. Now, what do? Call an ambulance. Good. And take Bayer aspirin. It's now been proven that aspirin can do more than help prevent second heart attacks. Now, Bayer may actually help stop you from dying if you take it during a heart attack. Talk to your doctor now. Do you know where your Bayer is? Bayer, powerful pain relief, and so much more.
Bathroom cleanser stuff's not working. We've got to get something stronger.
Don't miss Ed's head, because you could win $11 million in the American Family Sweepstakes. Enter now.
It began as a way to give something back.
You never knew you'd get so much in return. Throughout the day with Fixodent's long-lasting hold, you'll enjoy every moment, right up until the very last thank you. For a long-lasting hold, Fixodent and forget it.
With all we have to do today, does it make sense to keep color on your hair for 30 minutes when you can get rid of the gray in 5? Just 5. Great color, body, and shine in 5 gentle minutes. Just 5. Smart hair color. Works for me.
My first boyfriend, Rick Whiting. I hadn't seen him in years, and we're at our 20th reunion catching up, and I get this terrible heartburn. But Rick hands me Zantac 75. Thanks, I said. So, did you ever become an accountant? No, he says. A doctor.
The medicine in Zantac 75 is the #1 doctor-prescribed acid reducer. It relieves even your toughest heartburn, controlling acid for up to 12 hours.
Dr. Rick Whiting.
Zantac 75 for tough heartburn. Doctors know.
On the money tonight, holiday shopping. According to most estimates, sales are up this year between 3.5% and 5% over last year. As we said, internet retailers have done extraordinarily well, but sales are either flat or down at many stores that sell clothing and at some department stores. On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was up more than 8 points to close at 92.26. On the Nasdaq, stocks were up more than 17 points. A humbling milestone for Japan. For the first time since World War II, the unemployment rate in Japan is now as high as it is in the U.S., 4.4%. That's almost unthinkable in a country where lifetime employment used to be a virtual guarantee. It's been a bitter year for farmers across the country, and the forecast for next year is grim. Experts predict income for farmers will fall by as much as 7%. Hog farmers in the Midwest are in the worst shape. The global economic crisis has drastically reduced prices for their pigs. And as ABC's Dean Reynolds reports, many small farmers are in danger of going under.
Don Brady knows this is a lousy time to be a hog farmer.
My banker says, hey, you have some notes, you need to pay those off, you better get out of the hog business because you're going the wrong direction.
And perhaps as many as 40,000 other small pig farmers in the Midwest are hearing the same thing this winter. That's because prices for their once prized livestock are at a 50-year low. The price a farmer gets for a pig is far less than what it costs to feed and raise the animal. A year ago, Brady got 45 cents a pound for his pigs. Now, he's getting only 9 cents.
My father has been farming for 62 years, and he's never seen never seen prices this low.
What makes it so maddening for farmers is that only 18 months ago, pig market prices were at record highs. Everybody was doing well. So everybody produced as many pigs as they could, and in no time, they produced an enormous oversupply. The abundance of pigs came just as the export market for pork went into a tailspin, with demand from Russia and Asia way off. Large corporate farms can withstand that decline in demand, but Brady and others like him cannot.
Now we are in a situation where the industry is locked into a structure in which the number of producers are getting smaller and smaller, but what they are producing in quantity is getting larger and larger.
While the price of a pig has plummeted, the price of pork at the supermarket has not.
There's always a lot to like about the great taste of pork.
Meat packers and retailers are making huge profits, buying low and selling high. And while some in Congress have called for an investigation of this imbalance, it would probably be too late for Don Brady and his way of life.
This is the last of the hogs from this farm. Well, when they grow to be market size, that'll be the final chapter in the hog story.
Dean Reynolds, ABC News, Chicago.
At the White House today, President Clinton assured Social Security recipients they don't need to worry about the year 2000 computer bug. He says thanks to the work of 2,800 computer workers, the government computers used to send out benefits are now free of programming glitches that could cause any problems. When we come back, the routine dig and the amazing find.
Gosh, I just went to use the phone.
You say once you got back, your wife was gone.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
What?
Have you checked the hot enchilada?
Oh, no. Millicent gets terrible heartburn.
Not this time.
What's that?
Looks like the remains of an individually wrapped Pepcid AC chewable.
Introducing Pepcid AC Chewables, the first chewable to stop heartburn before it starts.
Millicent? Is that you?
Start living heartburn-free with new Pepcid AC Chewables.
This Super Bowl Sunday, the Prize Patrol could surprise you with $31 million. The one and only Publishers Clearinghouse Sweepstakes. Now, bigger than ever.
Cool.
Denture wearers, look who's starring for Polident. Me, Florence Henderson. Just smell all that mint. Polident fights denture odor while it cleans tough stains. Take a tip from Florence. Get Minty Fresh Polident to fight denture odor every day.
I always liked building things. I built my first skyscraper when I was 7. Today, what I want to build most is a secure future for my son. So I took a few steps and called T. Rowe Price, the no-load mutual fund people. They have all these planning kits. You see, I prefer to do my own investing. Look, I've always been good with kids, even really big ones.
For over 50 years, we've been helping people invest with confidence. T. Rowe Price.
A lot of people think acting is all fun and games. What they don't understand is how grueling it can be. For example, this scene, we shot 15 times.
By the way, you're the greatest lover I've ever had.
Work. Spin City, followed by Sports Night, 9, 8 Central. See you Tuesday.
Whatever.
A brief review of our top story. For the first time since the latest confrontation between the U.S. and Iraq, the Iraqis fired missiles at U.S. warplanes today. It happened in the northern no-fly zone. U.S. planes responded, firing at an Iraqi missile battery. The Iraqis say they probably downed a Western plane. The Pentagon vehemently denies that claim. And finally this evening, in Miami, an amazing find during what was supposed to be a run-of-the-mill excavation. Bulldozers began to level this site last summer. An old apartment building was to give way to high-rise condos. Archaeologists took a routine look. What they saw appears to be the remnants of a lost civilization. The Tequesta Indians, who inhabited what is now downtown Miami, were wiped out by the Spanish conquistadors beginning in the 16th century. There is not much evidence of their existence left. This circle, carved in the bedrock, scientists believe, is what is left of the floor of an 800-year-old Tequesta temple.
Basically, we're looking at something that is obviously unique and has just never been seen.
This, scientists say, is the remains of a 5-foot shark, which was deliberately buried in the center, suggesting it was an offering to the gods. This eye, carved in the stone, may have been part of a prehistoric calendar. Scientists are sifting through every grain of earth, looking for clues. As of now, they don't have many. And that's our report on World News Tonight. Later on Nightline, how can the military hang on to its personnel in the face of big civilian paychecks? I'm Connie Chung. Good night.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. ABC News, now always on.
Jacksonville's headed to the playoffs. But first, they'll have to survive the Steelers. Pittsburgh meets Jacksonville tonight on ABC.
Now, News 2 at 6. First, fast, accurate.
The manhunt is over. The 6th and final Riverbend prison escapee is in custody at this hour. The latest arrest comes just hours after 2 other inmates are captured by police, and News 2 cameras are there as the men are arrested. Good evening, everyone. Just over an hour ago, the last of 6 escapees from the Riverbend maximum security prison was recaptured. News 2's Andy Cordan is live at the prison with the very latest. Andy?
Bob, it's been an action-packed time here in front of the prison for some 36 hours or more. We can tell you that Aaron Tyrone James was arrested just about an hour ago. Let's show you that video right off the top. We can